are you being so hateful with the people that love you the most?
You're not listening to me. You come here, be a resident.
Boom, bam. What's going on, people? We are back again with another video. But the question is, though, how did we get here? Why the hell is Tammy going off at her family? Well, that is something that we are about to find out. And I trust when I tell you, this episode right here, let's just say that I believe that there is a stalker in the building. Maybe even a scammer, but we'll get there.
Get a call saying Tammy has a trach infection, which means she cannot leave the facility because she's going to have an IV line in her arm for the next 10 days.
So, Tammy was meant to be getting picked up by Chris and his wife. But 2 hours into the trip, as you heard right there, they get a phone call saying that no, you cannot pick her up because Tammy has an infection and she must stay here for an extra 10 days. Now, of course, this news itself in particular was news that Tammy definitely wasn't looking to want to hear.
This lady told me that you actually have to go to the hospital and it's like a week's worth of training and I'd have to miss work to go and I can't afford to miss work.
And I can't afford to leave my babies that long.
So right now the family's having a meeting and what's happened is that they have found out that if they come and pick up Tammy is going to be coming back home with a machine that is pretty much the equivalent to a life support machine. And because of that, then that means whoever the caregivers are going to be, they're going to need to have some training. And that training, as you heard from Amanda's in particular, would take around would take up to a week to do. And of course, that means taking time out of work and also taking time out of, not obviously, being a parent. And I can understand why this is something, that Misty wouldn't want to do because at the end of the day, she has her own responsibilities. She has her own divorce going on or divorce that's already happened, whatever. And also at the same time, she has her own children to also pay for. And also we know that when it comes to Amy, well, Amy doesn't have the best of support when it comes to her husband, Michael. So at the end of the day, the point being is that whoever's going to be her carer basically also needs to be a carer for her 24/7 as well. So there are a lot of things to take into account in Tammy coming home now, and those things are just something that the family cannot do. And respectfully, I can completely understand. Why would they want to put their life to the sides to have to cater to Tammy 24/7? And the crazy part about it is that, to be fair, throughout most of their lives, especially Amy's life, they have actually always catered to Tammy's life anyway. I guess the difference now is that they're used to not having time around for a certain amount of time. Well, I say used to it, they've been here before, but they're used to it again. And I think obviously this time it really means that they actually don't have a choice but to actually be there for Tammy, because in the last season of season 3, to be fair, even though Tammy was at home, they actually ended up employing someone to come in and obviously look after Tammy, remember? And of course, that didn't exactly go to plan because Tammy still decided to rebel, and then Tammy ended up in a coma, which is why we are where we are now. So really and truly, it would be quite unfair and quite selfish for Tammy to come back home and for the family to have to look after her as if they don't have lives of their own. End of the day, her attitude towards food, her attitude with just everything that she's done in her life has resulted her here. And to be honest with you, Tammy has to continue finding ways to stand on her own 2 feet. Now, of course, that is something that is at this moment in time literally impossible. Now I just said that. It wasn't even a joke, but that was a joke. But Tammy, obviously, we know she really can't look after herself anyway. So really and truly, the best plan would be for Tammy, in hindsight, to really pretty much stay where she's at until further notice. But here's the thing, though. The family now needs to tell Tammy that, hey, things aren't going to be as simple as you want them to be. And, well, get it.
Nobody here is trained to take care of you 24 hours a day or is able to.
I'm not staying here.
It's just mad because, Tammy's attitude is back real quick. And let's not remember, last time Tammy was in rehab, she literally walked out early and it didn't go well. Now, even though her journey seems to be better this time round, she's still kind of in the mindset where she really wants to get out of there. And don't get me wrong, I can't imagine what it's like to be in, a vicinity like that. But at the same time, I wouldn't put myself in it. Do you know what I'm saying? But the fact is that Tammy's put herself in it. And I think the thing that Tammy's obviously not understanding here is that you had an infection and nobody can actually look after you. But not only do you have an infection, but if we pick you up, we've actually all got to look after you 24/7. We can't actually do that. None of us are trained. None of us have the time to do it. And all Tammy wants to say is, I don't give an F. The level of selfishness is just not needed.
The only way I know to do it would be find a facility in Kentucky.
I'm not staying in another facility.
Tammy, I don't think you have much of a choice right now.
I do have a choice.
How?
This is the thing that's so jarring about Tammy, you know, thinking that she exercises a choice. I mean, listen, do you know what? Let's rewind a little bit. Tammy had a choice her whole life, or at least her whole adult life, to do better. Amy's already Amy obviously started off the journey of losing weight way back. Obviously, Amy started doing it properly, and obviously it got her to where she's at now. Not the best of places, but it's a better place than where she's at when she first started, which is good. Obviously, we've seen Chris have the journey too. Amanda's had the journey at some point in her life and still back on it again anyway. Misty, I'm not too sure about. But either way, though, she's been around a family where, despite the fact that they're all feeders to each other, somehow they've all still managed to lose weight, and Tammy just wouldn't jump on the bandwagon. She's now the last person to be on it. And at the end of the day, if she did it before, well, then she wouldn't be in this predicament, and then therefore, you know, this wouldn't be happening. But the fact is, though, Tammy needs to recognize that she needs to take accountability for the fact that she took a very long time to get to this stage. And because she took a long time to get to the stage, she has to understand that she has to continue the stage pretty much with the mindset of that she's got to do it on her own. She can't keep having the mentality of relying on the family to come and get her. But here's the thing, though. What Tammy says next is quite fascinating, because she believed that she has the answer of how she can leave and not have to go to another facility, and most importantly, not have to rely on any of the other family to actually be there for her. I mean, to be honest with you, this is quite outrageous.
I know how to take care of it myself.
In order for her to come home, she has to have at least 2 caregivers that are trained. It'll take 7 days to get people trained.
But Tammy said she can take after herself. Can you imagine? I mean, listen, I know I spoke about how she needs to be more independent, but let's be real. She needs 2 people, and of course, Tammy looking after herself isn't going to be applicable. What if Tammy has a day where she can't be bothered to look after herself? Tammy, we all know that's a lie. End of the day, you're going to be ringing any of your siblings saying, hey, can you come help me, please? Hey, come help me, please. Hey, you know what I mean? And end of the day, even if she was being genuinely serious about looking after herself, which again, she can't do anyway, why would the family believe her? She said this thing so many times, and every time it's happened, Amy's having to then give up her life to go look after her, and so on and so on and so on. So to be honest with you, Tammy, you're moving mad.
I freaking know that. But I don't need to... Not saying you.
Why are you being so hateful with the people that love you the most?
You're not listening to me.
Oh, man. But you know what, though? This is how we got to here. But I did say to you, stalker, scammer, we're about to get to that point. Trust me.
A part of my life, and you have to listen to me. I want respect. I deserve respect. Don't I deserve it?
So, Tammy has ended up actually staying, of course, in the facility, even though she did threaten that she was going to walk out and find her own way home, which we know that she can't. She's obviously had to stay there. But instead of staying there for the 10 days, she's actually ended up staying there for longer than that. But also, you know, Tammy in fine form always has to, you know, demand respect. I don't know why she believes that she deserves respect. The matter of the fact is, though, the family does respect her. Tammy forgets that while she's been in there, Amanda has taken trips to go see her. Or she's taking time. Listen, the whole family have taken trips to go see her. So to be honest, she talks about respect. They've been giving you respect. And to be honest with you, you have been one hell of a headache for your family for quite a long time. But also at the same time, your family have been a headache themselves anyway in their own right. But the matter of fact is, though, is that Tammy to say that she deserves respect from her family, and the fact that she's not speaking to her family at this moment in time purely because they didn't pick her up is ridiculous. Because she forgets the fact that the family is the reason why she's where she's at now. The family is the reason why she's where she's at now to do better for herself. The family has also done so many things for her over the years. Well, when I say family, siblings, to be more specific, because the mum, let's be real, she ain't done nada. But either way though, given the fact that Tammy did end up staying in the facility for longer, well, this is when Tammy then finally met the man of the hour.
So wait, you looked at her social media and then you came in? What do they call that? Stalker vibes?
The man himself, Caleb. How did Caleb end up in the same facility as Tammy? And how did they end up being a couple? Well, Caleb just told a very interesting story about how Tammy inspired him. According to Caleb, so here's the thing. Caleb flat out comes in. In fact, let me show you actually, to be fair, what he says.
Show kindness.
What brought you here, though?
You.
Oh, hold on, what are we talking about here now?
Yeah, hold on. What are we talking about here now? So, here's the story, Caleb. He's been in the facility now for around about a year. But what brought him here? At first, I thought he was just being flirtatious. No. It turns out that Caleb knew exactly who Tammy was via social media. And, here's the funny part. Caleb had been in the facility for about a year, but over that space of the year, he never left his room. He only decided to leave his room upon Tammy's arrival at some point. Once he learned about who Tammy was via social media, all of a sudden, Caleb wanted to start appearing. Started to want to leave his home, so he just leave his room and show his face. And the reason why is because of Tammy Slaton. And as you heard from the guy before, he said, sounds like stalkerish vibes. And I have added in the word scammer because we know that Tammy over the years has always been around men that have only wanted to use her for clout. Men that wanted to enable her and use her for clout. Those have been the two main factors of all the men that have come into her life. Caleb fully admits that he had basically been watching her on social media. And that's what prompted him to want to meet her, and that's what brought him here. I mean, listen, no matter how you want to look at it, 100% creepy vibes. Hashtag stalkerish vibes. So for me personally, if that's not a red flag, desperation, this is why you shouldn't be desperate in life, because when you're desperate in life, it allows you to miss red flags that you should be alert of. Here's the thing, even if he was being genuine, which maybe he is, I'm still not going to give him the time of day, raw. If a girl comes up to me and says to me, yeah, so I'll be watching you, you know what I mean? So, and I knew exactly your location, I knew where you was, and I decided to appear at your location, I'll be like, whoa, you decided to do what? You found out where I was, and then you appeared? Yeah, see you later, bye-bye. I ain't about that life, because if you got the ability to find where man is and to appear where I am, it means that you've also got the ability to track my every freaking move. Like, yo, I ain't looking to be in a prison. You ain't here to try and trap me. Stay the F away from me. You know what I mean? But hey, some people will be like, oh, that's quite romantic, you know. Oh, you did all that for me? You know them people there? You're a desperate mofo. Stop being desperate. Come on, man. Anyway.
Beautiful, amazing, wonderful person.
Well, I don't need to show you much more because we all know how it all went down. But anyway, after what? I don't know what the timeline is of the first scene to this scene, but then fast forward and all of a sudden my man is standing up for the first time in his life for a very long time to propose. It's quite bizarre though, to be fair, because now I think about it, right? This guy stood up to propose to Tammy. But isn't a man supposed to get down on one knee to propose? So to be honest with you, shouldn't he have just stayed sitting down? Because we know getting on one knee would have been a challenge for him to do, and also getting back up would also been a challenge to do. Very interesting. Sorry, I've just realized that, so I'm just speaking freely right now. It wasn't actually a part of the video, to be honest with you. You know? But yeah, I just realized that. But either way, though, I guess he wanted to show his strength for Tammy, yes. But here's the thing, though, man. Don't you think it's a bit strange that this guy knew exactly who she was before? I mean, it's not strange that he knew who she was, but it's strange that, you know, knowing who Tammy was, where she was, he decided to then all of a sudden, boom, appear, start putting his A game on, showing his love for her, shall I say, or his attraction for her. And then the second that she agrees, which obviously Tammy would, because Tammy agrees to anything, sadly so, he's like, boom, now I'm just going to propose. I'm curious how long it took him to propose. Was it a week? Was it 2 weeks? Was it a month? Was it the next freaking day? Whatever it was, definitely not great. Now, also, when it comes to the family, because Tammy at this moment in time was not actually talking to the family actually ended up finding out, not necessarily about the engagement, but about the fact that she had a man via social media, which I think was, yeah. Because I remember when it came out, they were just partners, weren't they? Yeah. Either way, that the family found out via social media, so yeah. But hey, roll on next week. As far as I'm concerned, this relationship between Tammy and Caleb, I'll be very surprised if it lasts. If it does last, I still don't trust the guy, to be honest with you. He's there to gain something out of it, and to gain, and I'm so evil. when I used the word he's there to gain something out of it, I was like, yeah, my guy doesn't need to gain anything else. You can dislike the video. Anyway, with that being said though, thank you so much for your time, and I'll catch you guys in the next week's episode, of course, of £1,000 Sisters. But don't forget that we do the full reaction to the full episode on Patreon. Link is down below in the description. We are done, we are out, and